No one likes a boring Super Bowl, as we've experienced in some of the past few years. But here are some definite matchups we do not want to see.
It'll be the AFC champion Cleveland Browns taking on the NFC champions, the Dallas Cowboys.
We're already pondering some of the potential dream matchups for Super Bowl 56, which will be held in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. But on the flip side, these are 10 Super Bowl 56 matchups that we don't want to see. Los Angeles Rams versus New England Patriots. Sean McVay and Bill Belichick are two of the NFL's best head coaches, motivators, and tacticians. And yet the two matchups between them have been nothing but total yawn fests. In McVay, you have a young and innovating offensive mind, who is rapidly forming his own coaching tree, with understudies like Matt LaFleur, Zach Taylor, and Brandon Staley. In Belichick, you have the most brilliant defensive mind and greatest head coach ever. Nobody needs a reminder about their boring Super Bowl 53 battle. The Patriots won 13-3 in a defensive affair that featured a lot of punts. The Week 14 2020 Thursday Night Football showdown saw the Rams pummel the Patriots 24-3. Yet another reminder that we shouldn't get overly excited when these two teams meet. Just saying. If the Rams and Patriots meet again, you're either going to have the Rams' prolific offense destroy the Patriots' defense while also completely shutting down their offense, or you're going to have another intense defensive battle that comes down to which team can score the only touchdown of the game. That being said, there are two brand new quarterbacks on these teams, so it could be completely different, and maybe we're wrong. There are several dream Super Bowl matchups involving the Rams or Patriots, but as long as they're not playing each other. But again, two new quarterbacks could be different. Dallas Cowboys versus Kansas City Chiefs. These two teams will face off in Week 11 at Arrowhead Stadium. It's good enough for us. On paper, the idea of a Cowboys-Chiefs Super Bowl sounds thrilling. Two explosive offenses that each feature ridiculous star power. Who wouldn't want to see that matchup? Well, apparently us. You see, the Cowboys have this knack for underachieving each year. Even if they were to reach the Super Bowl, you can't possibly think they'd have much of a hope against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes behind that rebuilt O-line would have a field day against a Cowboys defense that allowed 386.4 yards and 29.6 points per game last season. Maybe Dallas would keep it close for a bit, but we wouldn't expect the drama to last. KC would win this game by at least 14 points. Sure, Cowboys haters would take joy in watching Jerry Jones' team get destroyed on the grandest stage. That sounds fun and all, but we'd personally rather have a more evenly matched Super Bowl. Washington football team versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. These two faced off at Heinz Field last season, with the underdog football team handing the 11-0 Steelers their first loss in 2020. Ron Rivera's squad squeaked out a close 23-17 victory en route to an NFC East division title. The Steelers weren't the same after that loss. The game had an exciting finish and all, but it was very dull for the first 50 or so minutes. Alex Smith was sacked 3 times. The two teams combined for 15 penalties and just 644 yards of offense. It was a sluggish and sloppy affair, that's to say the least. With all due respect to Washington and Pittsburgh, who field perhaps the NFL's two best defenses, we just don't see much entertainment value on this matchup. Fans always admire a good defensive slugfest, but the Super Bowl is supposed to offer some fireworks. TJ Watt and the fierce Pittsburgh front seven would make life a living hell for whoever's under center for Washington. And Ben Roethlisberger, who's playing behind a brand new O-line, would have a rough day of his own against Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, and Darren Payne. We could honestly see close to 10 total sacks in this game and under 23 combined points. Who wants that? We don't want another punt-filled contest, and a Washington-Pittsburgh matchup would surely give us just that. No thank you. Chicago Bears versus Baltimore Ravens. The Bears will host the Ravens at Soldier Field in a Week 11 afternoon tilt. Here's hoping it's not a preview of Super Bowl 56. Much like the Steelers-Washington matchup, this game just wouldn't feature enough offense for our liking. Sure, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lead the NFL's best rushing offense, but something tells us that the dynamic front seven, led by Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, and Roquan Smith, would find a way to slow this ground game down. And we don't think the Ravens have the playmakers in the passing game to move the ball efficiently against Chicago's stingy secondary. Speaking of secondaries, Don Martindale might have one of the NFL's best down in Baltimore. Could you imagine that unit going up against Chicago's lackluster pass attack? Whether it's Andy Dalton or Justin Fields under center, we just don't see the Bears' passing game getting a whole lot done against the likes of Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters. And it's not like the Ravens' front seven will be overpowered by David Montgomery and Chicago's rushing offense. See where we're going with that? Too much running the football, not enough passing, and most importantly, not enough points to provide the entertainment that we the fans are looking for. Not that the Bears are a legitimate Super Bowl contender anyway. We're just saying, we would really struggle to get hyped over a Bears-Ravens Super Bowl showdown. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Cleveland Browns. Not gonna lie, I kinda wish I could see this one, but it's on the list, so here we go. Yet another Tom Brady Super Bowl appearance. Probably like the 150th of his career. Non-Brady fans are probably pretty sick of it at this point, but that's not the main reason the Bucs and Browns are on this list. Just consider how this would play out. The Browns probably don't have the depth in the secondary to match up with the Bucs' high-powered group of pass catchers in Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, and Rob Gronkowski. We're sure Tampa's elite O-line would find a way to neutralize Myles Garrett too. The Browns' offense lives and dies by the ground game. Well, the Bucs fielded the league's best rushing D in each of the last 2 years. Not sure how much Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb would be able to do here. Also, you saw what the Bucs did with Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 55. You really think Baker Mayfield, even with a stout O-line, would be able to pick this secondary apart? We don't either. And it's the Cleveland Browns. They're not allowed to have nice things, unfortunately. It'd be such a Cleveland Browns thing to reach the Super Bowl and then just get derailed by Tommy Terrific and company. I don't know if I could bear to watch that, which is why I'd rather not see the Super Bowl matchup take place. San Francisco 49ers versus Indianapolis Colts. The DeForest Buckner Bowl, anyone? These two teams will square off at Levi's Stadium on Sunday Night Football in Week 7, and that'll be more than enough for us. Thank you very much. The 49ers are just 2 seasons removed from a Super Bowl appearance, and the Colts could emerge as a legitimate contender if Carson Wentz can regain his old form under Frank Reich. But, this matchup outside of Buckner doesn't offer a lot in terms of storylines. And it's not like the Colts have a giant national following like Pittsburgh, or Dallas, or New England. These two teams each field 2 of the game's best defensive units. So we wouldn't expect much in terms of passing games. It'd be your old school, low scoring, run the ball defensive affair. And we've already mentioned a few times how that's not what we want to see in the Super Bowl. A 49ers Chiefs or 49ers Ravens Super Bowl we could get behind. Even a Colts Cowboys or Colts Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl. It's also pretty intriguing. But please, not a San Fran Indianapolis matchup. Their Week 7 game is all we need. Minnesota Vikings versus Los Angeles Chargers. This would be a battle of 2 snake-bitten franchises who have come up short oh so often throughout the years. The Vikings and Chargers have both fielded excellent teams over the past 2 decades, but both franchises remain deprived of a Super Bowl championship. So here's the thing. If the Vikings and Chargers meet in a high-stakes game, history tells us this would be a battle where one opponent gift wraps the victory over the other. That might come in the form of a missed gimme field goal. Sound familiar, Vikings fans? Or a super careless penalty or costly fumble. Hey, those will ring bells to Charger supporters. Just being honest here. You just have to see a team give away a big game, like what the Seahawks did against the Patriots in Super Bowl 49. While the Vikings and Chargers squared off for all the marbles, you can count on one of these teams finding a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It's pretty much what we've come to expect from both franchises. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Buffalo Bills. On paper, this would be an enticing matchup between 2 of the league's most dynamic offensive units. Then you remember that Tom Brady went 32-3 against the Bills as a Patriot. Who's to say he wouldn't crush Josh Allen and company once more? And if this matchup still intrigues you, well, the good news is the Bucs and Bills play at Raymond James Stadium in Week 14. Isn't that good enough? We've seen Brady play the Bills twice every season for long enough. We really need it once more in 2021. Plus, just being honest, we're talking about 2 of these smaller market teams that don't exactly have huge followings outside of their respective regions. We're just not sure the average fan would be all that into a matchup between the defending champions and the Bills, but I know Tom would. Seattle Seahawks versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Thanks to the addition of a 17th regular season game, we get to see the Seahawks visit Pittsburgh for the 2nd time in 3 years. As Steelers fans will remember, Ben Roethlisberger suffered a season-ending elbow injury in the Week 2 2019 showdown against Seattle that ultimately led to a wasted season for Pittsburgh. This would be a rematch of Super Bowl 40, which the Steelers won thanks in large part to what was quite frankly the worst officiated game in NFL history. Seattle kinda sorta got revenge by winning Super Bowl 48 against the Denver Broncos. But obviously it'd be even sweeter to claim a 2nd ring by taking down Pittsburgh. Thing is, you're looking at 2 teams who play behind terrible offensive lines. Wilson was sacked 47 times in 2020. And which defense led the NFL in sacks last season? The Steelers, with 56. On the other hand, Pittsburgh's once dominant O-line lost Marquise Pouncey, Alejandro Villanueva, and David DeCastro. And the Seahawks defense posted 46 sacks last year. You get the picture? Basically, you'd see a lot of pressure on both quarterbacks. A lot of hits and sacks, and definitely not a whole lot of offense. This Pittsburgh defense is one of the few that can slow down the trio of Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. And the Steelers' offense just isn't the same without Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. It figures to regress more with a new-look O-line and an aging Roethlisberger. Add it all up, and you just wouldn't get the most entertaining Super Bowl matchup with these two teams. Sacks, turnovers, punts, and not a whole lot of offense. And like we've mentioned already, you're just getting this matchup in the regular season. An encore in the Super Bowl is not needed whatsoever. Dallas Cowboys versus New England Patriots. The NFL head office and NBC would sure love this matchup. Arguably the two most popular NFL franchises, competing in a Super Bowl. But here's the thing for all the non-Patriots and non-Cowboys fans out there. A Dallas-New England meeting in Super Bowl 56 guarantees that one of the most despised teams in America comes away with a championship. Who wants that? There's a special bond that's shared between Cowboys and Patriots haters. These are just two teams we all love to hate, and the Cowboys are overhyped and overexposed media darlings that love to cling to the past. The Patriots are the evil empire of the 21st century. Very few of us would be winners if the Cowboys and Patriots met in the Super Bowl. New England had already captured 6 Lombardi trophies in this decade. Dallas won 3 in the 90s, though you'd think it'd be a lot more considering how much their fans love to brag about their past success. Not to mention that their highly anticipated 2019 showdown was a total snooze fest. And they'll also meet at Gillette Stadium during Week 6 of the regular season. So who's really asking for a third Dallas-New England meeting in 4 years? We certainly aren't. There are so many dream Super Bowl 56 matchups, but Dallas versus New England isn't one of them. Hopefully the other 30 teams can prevent it from actually happening. What other Super Bowl 56 matchups do you not want to see? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, we're on everything. Go subscribe, go follow. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes one click down below and subscribe to TPS. We post videos every day. Every day's a new video. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
On my knee.